What were the differences between early and late medieval political thought? If you're curious about how political ideas evolved during the Middle Ages, you're in the right place. Let's break down the differences between early and late medieval political thought. In the early Middle Ages, roughly from the 5th to the 10th centuries, political thought was heavily influenced by Christian teachings. The Church played a central role in shaping societal and political norms. Decisions were often made in accordance with church teachings, and religious authorities had significant influence over both secular and spiritual aspects of life. The idea of a universal Christian empire, where the church and secular rulers worked together, was a dominant theme. This period saw the emergence of Christian ideas of rulership, where kings and emperors were seen as divinely appointed. During this time, the concept of universalism was also prevalent. This meant that there was a strong belief in a unified Christian world with the Church at its center. The Church's authority extended into all facets of life, including politics, arts, and literature. Secular life was deeply intertwined with religious doctrine, and the Bible was interpreted to justify and guide political decisions. In contrast, late medieval political thought, from around the 11th to the 15th centuries, saw significant developments and diversification. This period was marked by the rediscovery and translation of classical texts, particularly those of Aristotle, which had a profound impact on political philosophy. Aristotle's works, such as Politics, were translated into Latin and became widely studied, influencing thinkers across Christian, Jewish, and Islamic worlds. Late medieval thinkers began to analyze and apply these classical ideas to their contemporary political settings. For example, Aristotle's concept of the mixed regime was used by thinkers like Thomas Aquinas and Marsilius of Padua to discuss and critique different forms of government. The mixed regime, which combined elements of monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy, was seen as an ideal form of governance by many. Another key difference was the emergence of more complex and nuanced discussions about the relationship between church and state. The late Middle Ages saw intense debates about the authority of the papacy versus secular powers, such as the Holy Roman Emperor and regional kings. Thinkers like John of Salisbury in his work Polycraticus argued for a well-organized political community where the king was advised by wise counselors and the church played a guiding role, but not a dominant one. Additionally, the late Middle Ages witnessed the rise of city-states and the growth of urban political thought. Writers like Ptolemy of Lucca discussed the governance of Italian city-states, drawing on both Roman and Aristotelian ideas. This period also saw more emphasis on the role of law and the development of codified legal systems, which further differentiated it from the earlier period's more theocratic approach. In summary, while early medieval political thought was characterized by a strong Christian influence and a unified view of authority, late medieval thought was marked by a greater diversity of ideas, the influence of classical texts, and more complex discussions about governance and the relationship between church and state.